The experience I had growing up in two different tribes or two different cultures, I can say it was enjoyable because I don't blame you if both parents are from the same tribe, but I also enjoyed life as somebody whose parents are from two different tribes. But most of my life, let's say 60%, I stayed away from home. 40% I stayed in Luhya land, and 10% I stayed in Kikuyu land. I was born at Pomwani, that is Mudhurwa. From Mudhurwa we moved to Makongeni. From Makongeni we moved to Nakuru. From Nakuru we moved to Isili. From Isili to Isiolo. From Isiolo to Mombasa. From Mombasa to Nakuru. From Nakuru to Kajiado. From Kajiado to Nairobi, to Wajir. From Kajiado to Wajir. From Wajir to Nairobi, and lastly to Garissa. So I spent 60% in a mixed culture, which you can call Sheng. But as I was growing up, I grew up mostly talking Luhya, but with some Kikuyu. First thing I noticed was that if you look at the Bukusu, mother, they call mom Mai. So when I grew up, from day one, our mother told us never to call her Mai, especially if we were to call her somewhere near Karatina, meaning that she forced us to be calling her Maito. And you see, Luhya, and Luhya ni watu, Luhya like creating problems where there's no problem. They would complain that this lady is confusing her children because instead of teaching them pure Luhya, she's teaching them a mix of Kikuyu. But if you find a Kikuyu calling your mom Mai, it's not good. So we grew up that way. And I also used to find that whenever I would talk vernacular, whether in Webuye or in Karatina, I used to find myself mixing the two. When I was young, Karatina people used to call me Sonyoli Raho, because when somebody has roasted a maize, I would say Sonyoli Raho Mbembe Yuma Yakwa. That is, if you call Sheng, then I'll call it LUQMAN. LUQMAN, Luhya Kikuyu man. So I would find myself talking things interacting interchangeably, just like a zebra. Is zebra white that has black strips, or is it black with white strips? So you would find out I would be talking a mixture of the two. Then it came to the challenge of naming. I'll talk about myself because it is just because I became famous the other day. Maze mini celeb. It is just because I became famous the other day that people where I come from came to know that I'm called James. We have about 3 James Hwatenges. But there is only one James Hwatenge who is known where I come from. If you are light at Luandeti Training Center and you wanted to see James Hwatenge, you would be taken to James Tondo Hwatenge. His father and my father are half brothers, sons of the same man but different mothers. So at home, it is only when I started appearing in TV, newspapers and whatever that people knew that I'm called James. But so if you go there today and you want to see me, you ask for James Hwatenga. Okay, today you can't, but previously you'd be led to another person. Where I come from, I have always been known as JI-TENGE, son of Lando. JI-TENGE, son of Lando. I was named JI-TENGE, and you see, according to my mother's tribe, it is okay for me to be called JI-TENGE because someone is named after, if it is the eldest child is named after a parent, is named after the parent to the man, to the husband, the first child. The first boy is named after the father to the husband, and the first girl is named after the mother to the husband. The second son is named after the father to the wife, and the second daughter is named after the mother to the wife. That is Kikuyu tradition. But according to Luhya tradition, first of all, people have two names. Well, the first one is that you have your own name, but then you have a shadow name. You have a shadow name. For example, you know Abukusu in Bungoma, called Wekesa, but his mother comes from Kitale. So you'll find that when you are with Wekesa in Bungoma, and you go to Kitale, you'll find them calling him Wafula. That is another, can I say, a shadow name. A name that the person has been given, which is only used where his mother comes from. His mother's clan, his mother's family, and his mother area mates call him a different name from the names that are known. And then there is the name that he has that even goes to the ID. This is the name that everybody knows you, and usually is named, according to Luhya, especially Bukusu tradition, you are named after a dead relative or a dead prominent person, or even a season. Wafula during rain, Wekesa during harvest, and so on and so on. You can also be named after a VIP who visits your area at the time when you are born. For example, if Obama visits your area, then if you get a son, all children who are born that day, if they are boys, they'll be called Obama. And if they are women, if they are girls, they'll be called Michelle. It is vice versa. If a prominent lady, like Queen Elizabeth, visits, or any other prominent lady, she visits, all girls will be named after her, and all boys will be named after her husband. So that is how Luhyas name their people. Me, I was named JI-TENGE, not because of my father's father. According to the tradition then, you are only named after a dead relative. JI-TENGE died 5 or 6 years before I was born. So according to Luhya tradition, that was the nearest name I could be given. So I was JI-TENGE, son of Lando. And you see, with the Kikuyu, the name, the Kikuyu have been already been named after my paternal grand, so it fitted. Then, if you go to where I come from, people think I have a Kikuyu name. No, I don't have. But there is this name that they insist it is my name that I will tell you. My mother was a very good cook. She could cook and we could eat. Everybody used to have 2 helpings. You eat, you go back, you get a second helping. But I used to go for the 3rd. So she used to call me Wandahuhu. They call her Wandahuhu. If you go to where I come from, you find people of my age and above, they call me Wandahuhu. They think that is my Kikuyu. That is my shadow name. Wandahuhu, for those who do not know Kikuyu, means glutton. Glutton. So people used to think, and you know, they don't even call it Wandahuhu, they say it Wandahu. We know you have a Kikuyu name. It's Wandahu. As I said when I was talking about my grandmothers, my Kikuyu relatives at Karatina or Gandu, are very gracious to me, at least, or even to their late sister, that whenever you are there, they talk a language similar to Luhya. And if there is a Luhya there, he or she will not understand. I have to translate it for him or her. I translate Luhya into Luhya. Because when they are talking of traditional potatoes, you find them saying, Kebaru yang ngwasheshitago mapino. That is, in Luhya, ngwashes are called mapino. But in Kiluhya, ngwashe is called mapuoni. So you find they will talk in a certain language. So if I translate it, that is what they meant. When I was growing up, as I've said, they used to call me Sonyoliraho, because I would mix the two languages, and they used to laugh when they say Sonyoliraho. So when I was young, I used to be called Sonyoliraho. And but nowadays, the children of my uncles, the junior uncle, the late Nguyo, Mwangi Nguyo, had only one son, but he had several daughters. We call him Benson Mandevu, Benson Karidhi Mandevu. And then Uncle Washira has Benson Karidhi. Then he has the late Njuguna. He has James Nguyo. He has George Gatifaru. And of course the two cousin sisters, the late Esther. No, Esther is still alive, but then there is the late Wamoyo. So you find that they usually call me Mufiala. But you see the way they call me Mufiala, they call it in a certain way. Instead of calling me Mufiala, they say Mofiala. Mofiala. So you go to Tumutumu area and ask who is Mofiala, people think that is my name. So that is one of my nicknames. And Huatengeres, you know, being deep in Kikuyu land, they call Hamulamwa. They call Hamulamwa. So it is very funny that when we go to Karatina, you find some people saying, Eko Mulamwa mutumia wa Mufiala. I can tell you it is very funny. You see, Eko Mulamwa mutumia wa Mufiala. Now, Mufiala in Kiluhya means cousin, and Mulamwa means brother-in-law or sister-in-law. So they are saying, they are talking Kikuyu, or they are talking LUQMAN, because LUQMAN is a mix of Kikuyu and Luhya. So they are saying, where is Shemeji, bibi ya cousin? I can tell you, I can go on and on, but life is enjoyable when you come from different society. Lastly, my uncle Paul Washira, whenever we are there with Huatengeres in Karatina, just say, they sit there, talk, because Huatengeres comes from Vihiga, where they do not have these strong traditions like Bukusulan. So my uncle usually tells her, oh, sit here, let us talk. He greets her. Says, but you know, when we meet in Webuye, we'll not even sit there. So there is that adaptability, the ability of the same family. When we are in Karatina, we behave purely like Kikuyus, and when we are in Karatina, we behave purely like Kikuyus. But when we are in Webuye, we behave purely like Bukusus. Life can never. Paradise must have been copied from us. Thank you.